So it's how our body responds to life that makes all the difference in the quality of life that we live and that we lead. You know, I'm on a walk and had no plans of connecting or discussing like this, but it's important. So I was just sitting down, enjoying silence, because even within myself, I can get so wrapped up in life and my comforts that I forget to break away and to do the thing that I really love to do, which is to go to my local forest and hike. And even as that was occurring, even as I got up and got in the car, I could feel the nervousness, I could feel the anxiety, I could feel this sense of something not right with the experience of literally going 3 miles down the street and connecting with Mother Earth. And it's kind of fascinating because it goes to show how kind of like attached or dependent we can become, or how deeply ingrained we can become in our own life to not recognize what it is to take a step forward that starts to create and or propagate the next solution. And so as I got here, I could feel the silence coming back. I could feel the noise wither away, and I could feel this sense of relief. And I can also feel this sense of the anxiety relieving and how I relate to what my experience is. And a lot of this that was shown to me from this kind of energy I was going through was the same thing as kind of like a mom encouraging their child to go out and to play soccer. And that sometimes when we get up and we go about our day and we do our thing, whatever that thing is, whatever that activity is or that action step is that sometimes we can fall. And there is this mother's reassurance that we will get back up, right? This sense of building resilience and harmony to life itself. And it's because for myself, being aligned with healing culture has brought up a belief system that we live in a broken or a fractured society. And understandably so, it makes sense why this belief can come through. I mean, we turn on the television, we see, we see war. We have, overconsumption of sexuality and like things like the porn industry and in advertisements. We see, things that are adverts for, beer, cologne, food, that satiate the sense of dependence, the neediness, this reward system, and the sense that the only way to achieve that, right, is by going out, it's by doing, it's by performing, it's by aligning with the money, it's aligning with the culture, it's aligning with the attitude. And then all of a sudden, we get to this place where we might feel depleted or disconnected or resentful or not enough, or our wake-up call comes in. And within that wake-up call, we realize that there's more to life. There's more to connection. And there's more than just the deeply ingrained response to what the world told us, what society told us, what our parents told us, and what we think is, if we go into right or wrong, what is right or more aligned for us in our journey. And so, as this child gets up and does its thing, breaks away from its comfort zone to engage in activity, knowing that engaging with life is a part of working with the obstacles that come with life as well. And some of those things are facing our fears. Some of those things are facing our own mortality, which is something I've been facing a lot lately. Some of these things are about how we handle certain situations. Either way, a lot of this, I know for myself, has felt like I am in a constant fine-tuning and dialing of perfecting my craft of getting into that flow space that is easiest for myself. But I also recognize that a life without obstacles almost creates a life that could be, at some level, for some of us, a little bit boring. Now, why though? Why would we want to project into the alignments of our reality that we need obstacle courses especially when some of those limitations are the things that really set us back or really hurt us. Well, it's of course for the sake of learning, but it's the reward when you get to the other side, right? It's that sense of accomplishment. It's that sense of this feeling like we can live life. And, you know, the more that I strategize, the more that I realign, the more that I reawaken, the more that I think, the more that I emerge from the consciousness self and go engage with life, the more I recognize that sometimes on this journey, to continue to heal or to continue to mend something that is seen as broken or a wound or whatever can sometimes be too much. Sometimes it's just the establish of having enough support internally and externally and tools to be able to go and to engage with life in a completely new and different way. So a lot of this is the ready and go kit. It's that internal knowing that at any point in time, I'll be, prepared for what is to come, that I can handle any situation that arises, that I could share my vulnerability and be in my most authenticity as I flow, but that also I can take that time to break away, to try something new, and to face uncertainty in a way that propagates new awareness of self-love, new awareness of self-compassion, but also things that help my body to respond to life in a completely different way. And, a lot of this is right now, it's because there's so much going on within myself and within others that I see that has to do with trauma-informed response to the realities. And basically, it's where our body, where our own internal systems say, something's not right. It pings the warning. And as a result, we don't get into the go window of life. We don't engage, or as a result, engaging with life or going with life can feel a little bit more daunting, more of a task, and can even feel like it starts to create strain on our relationships. And overall, we feel like there's a call forward of something new. There's an emerging of something that's a lot more novel, or there's a way to work through this experience or this emotion or this hardship in a new way and to see it in a new way. And I just went through a little microcosm of that, actually. And I was sitting down and I got a text message. Oh no, guys, the chair broke. This is my favorite chair. This right here is my favorite bench. And it broke. Damn. Okay, moving on. It just happened earlier. I had a moment a little while ago, and this is really small and it's kind of funny, but it's really how much things can impact our system. It was a hornet's nest over at the park that I work at. I was opening up the Connex, so I was unlocking something to go get some tools out of the shed, and when I went to go hang up the lock, right underneath where the lock was a hornet's nest, and a hornet came in, bit and or stung my finger, and when it did, my whole finger swelled up. The pain went all the way up to my armpit. It was excruciating. It was one of those, bigger lessons in life, which is don't F with the wasps and the hornets. Just don't F with them. It hurt like hell. And so as a result, I've been a lot more weary around them when I see them. I've always been connected to nature. Bugs tend to not really affect me that much, but these guys, that helped me to learn about having a healthy level of respect for nature and for the protectors in the animal kingdom, especially with what their poisons and what their venoms can kind of introduce, because that one rocked my central nervous system. It took me out for a full day, and it was just, imagine this tiny little thing, this tiny little bug, and this is the judgments of the human. This tiny little bug can put up its protectors and warn me that I'm too close to its nest, and it could take me out for a full day. And we start to think about, job, we think about income loss, we look about all these things, and then also now we start to factor in things like medical benefits and what happens. You see where the thinking mind and the societal mind and the generational mind starts to really have its impact on restoration, taking care of ourselves, but also how we connect to nature. So I come out here and I sit on my bench and I'm texting my sister. And of course, what comes up? A wasp. And as it's coming up, it's getting on my jewelry, it's getting on my bracelets, it's coming on my skin, it's just doing its thing. And I know if I can sit in observation, just let it do what it's doing with its healthy level of curiosity, I'm going to be okay. I'm not harming it, and I'm not close to its nest. I know I'm not agitating it, so just be calm. But something within me felt that I need to go. I can't rest. I can't just sit. It's like survival mode kicked in. So I went up and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get up and get going. And as I'm going, I heard this very loud voice in my left ear tell me, be one with the wasps, connect with the wasps, but talk to it. When you are having fears of the insect kingdom, or you're having a fear of the animal kingdom and they're close and you know you're not agitating them, you know you're not in, direct danger, you're not in harm's way, let them know what you're feeling. Let them know. There's this reverberance of energy of recognizing that from this space of vulnerability, we can connect to the situation in a new way. So while I am going through this fight or this flight or this survival, regardless of the external, internally, it's allowing me to feel like there's a space of self-importance, not in self-righteousness, but a self-importance in being able to fully disclose to my innermost being what I'm feeling, getting real with my emotions, which helps me to become more present, accepting of where I'm at, and also to be able to move through the emotion fluidly. The reason that I got up and moved was because I was in fear. And so the body said, danger, alert, warning signal, go. Central nervous system says, oh, you're in a trauma pattern. You're repeating a part of a process. You're unveiling a wound. You don't like this, move with it. But a part of this dialogue with the insect and a part of this dialogue with self is being able to be okay with the recalibration, the retuning, the refinement of the story that we tell ourselves in regards to our own traumas, in regards to our own experience, and in regards to our own journeys. I too recognize that there are moments where I'm at peace, I'm at flow, and then there's these moments of influxes that show me how difficult and complicated these stories and narratives are in my own journey. And as much as I want to simplify, as much as I just want to cancel, clear, delete everything and just hit the blank slate, I recognize that in this divine timing and in this divine space and in this connection of the divine self, more will be revealed when it needs to. So I don't need to force it. I don't need to push it. If I want to go in and do more inner dialogue and ask those questions, I can. But sometimes it's just recognizing that there are certain situations or things from the past, things that we're moving through that don't feel quite comfortable. But we can create a sense of safety, a sense of sanity, and a sense of love and nurturing in our own really unique way, whether this is with the esoterics, whether this is getting out in nature, whether this is literally just an internal dialogue, whether this is a complement of self, whether this is an entire soul override. It's entirely up to you what you can do. Some of these things are like, hey, go get a nice meal, go, smell a fresh fragrance like lavender. Perhaps it's sitting down with a lover and talking to them. Perhaps it's like you need to go have a cuddle session, and that whole thing right there in itself is important, especially if your body has a natural response to not accepting love or allowing people in, or vulnerability. And so the thing here is that right now in this kind of passageway that we're in, a lot is surfacing in regards to our own traumas, in regards to our own traumatic information, which means the dialogue with the self, and then everything of the way that the body exhibits the trauma, works through the trauma, shares the trauma, but also reframes the trauma in its own internal mastery. And as simple or as complicated as you want to be in your own internal mastery, that's perfect for you. I think the reminder here is that Source has us. And what I say is that Source has us, and Source is aligned within us to fully feel and move through what that is. Now, how we create that sense of safety is really unique to us. How we create that reverberant tone of nature and nurture is perfect for us. And as an example, today, there was something within me that knew it was that time to get back to the forest, to get back to the woods and go on a hike. And it's funny because it just took the action to face what those insecurities are, what those doubts were, to also see where I'm still very dependent, or I'm stabilizing, or I'm taking on too much, or where my energy, right, where my life force has been given to something that, yeah, it matters to me, but it doesn't give me an opportunity to pull back and to nurture myself. So I'm looking at this ratio of where I give and where I take, where there's an in-breath and an out-breath, or where there's a stalemate in regards to solutions and how I move through. And sometimes these little quantum jumps can feel kind of tricky in the way that we move and navigate through reality, but sometimes it's just that calling forward a brand new solution for us so we can find a novel way to step into the completion of whatever trauma and trauma information we have in our body, so we can get back into solution and we can get back to a place of celebrating the survival dialing right into the thriving and gliding right into a new realm. All right, I love you guys. We're all working through our own things on our journey. And a lot of this is whatever you need to rest, to replenish, and to get back into your own divine knowing is perfect for you. Whether it's silo and isolation, whether it's calm rest and contemplation, whether it's up in action and doing, it's perfect for you. And what's really cool is about the individuated state of you knows exactly what to do. Just keep calling forward the solutions and more will be revealed to you.